Attention musicians of all levels. It's not always easy picking out a song by ear. Sometimes you need a little help. Well, I have the app for you. Whether you're a professional musician or a beginner, Ultimate Guitar is an amazing app. For just $2.99, you get the chords and tabs on guitar, bass, or ukulele for over 1 million songs. They're all available at your fingertips. You also get tools like a tuner, metronome, chord library, lessons, videos, and more. You can find out any song you want. It also has like transpose button. It has auto scroll that you can change the speed to so you can play along with the song. A lot of the songs have the lyrics there so you can sing along with them. Ultimate Guitar is an amazing app. Just go to ultimateguitar.com or download the app to your phone today and start playing. Start playing any song you want. Ultimate Guitar, that's the place for you. Let's get down. Gang, we all know Spotify is the best and most popular music streaming app. They have millions of songs by millions of artists available at your fingertips. But did you know that aside from millions of songs, Spotify now has thousands and thousands of podcasts from all of your favorites, including Fresh Air, How Did This Get Made, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. They also have original programming like Stay Free, The Story of the Clash, and of course, the ever-popular Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen podcast going on right now. Just go to Spotify.com or download the app from your app store. And don't forget to follow How Did I Get Here? That's Spotify. Millions of songs and thousands of podcasts. Let's get down.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
All right, hello. I'm Johnny. I'm your host, and welcome to the show. I hope you guys have all had a good weekend, whatever it is you did this weekend. I'm actually doing this on Sunday as I'm going to Houston on Monday. We're to see my cousin, Megan, who's in town with the baby Max, and my family's all hanging out at my grandma's. Want to go check in and see them. They've moved to New York back in July, and now, or back at the end of June or whatever it was they moved. But now I'm very excited to see them. But I figured I would do this on Sunday before I head down to Waterloo Park. I'm going down there for the first time to check out some music from Austin Music Foundation Artist Development Program members, Anastasia Hera, TV Temple, and Nemegata. Gonna go watch some sets by them. I got a hat I can wear. I'm debating taking the dog. I don't know if she can handle a Sunday fun day park scene yet at 9 months old. It might be a bit much for her. It might be a bit much for me, to be honest with you. I might be like, hey, yo, you know, and I don't want to be that guy at the show. I want to enjoy the show. I've had a good weekend. I've had a really good weekend. My girlfriend Terry and I went and had some drinks and tacos on Friday night, just a mellow kind of night. We've been trying to watch this show, Dr. Death, on Peacock. Have you guys seen that, about the weird doctor guy in Dallas? From a few years ago, that was like this neurosurgeon that fucked up all these people's lives and killed a couple people. It's a pretty insane story. But we watched a documentary about it, and then there was a show about it with Christian Slater and Alec Baldwin. And we've been trying to get through it, but like, man, we don't really make it through even a whole episode. End up falling asleep. So it's been a slow haul on that one. Saturday, I headed out to Hunt, Texas. I don't know if you guys have ever been out there. It's a little past Kerrville, out west. Out west, baby. Leaving the hill country and entering West Texas. That's where it is. There was a camp out there. I can't remember what it's called. But there was an all-woman female party. And I guess they were all people that had gone to that camp in their lives. There's different generations of people. There was an 85-year-old lady that came on stage and danced during Proud Mary. We played it especially for her. And she came out and she danced. She was amazing. I couldn't believe she was her age. I thought she was like 60 or something. Anyway. It was a wild time. The thing happened where, like people get drunk and maybe they live their life in a privileged fashion that when someone is working for them or perceive that they're working for them, they just come up and go like, oh, hey, do more. I need you to do more. So I was like, there was a, demand, hey, play more. We just played like fucking 2.5 hours, and 2 hours of it was just straight through. We finished the thing. They put on the house music and they're like, all right, so you guys are going to play some more? No, we're done. Oh, what? You guys should play some more. Because to them, we're just having a good time. You know what I mean? We're not really working. We had to get out of there in the dark, out in the middle of nowhere. I had to find my way to Comfort, Texas to have a romantic evening with my friend Benjamin Hotchkiss in a hotel there. Faust Inn, by the way. You should check it out. It's really nice. Anyway, so the show was good, but after the show, I was taking my keyboard out, and this girl was like, when are you guys going to play again? And I was like, I don't know. Where do you live? Because we're playing in San Antonio, like in a couple weeks. And she's like, no, tonight. And I was like, no, this is my keyboard. I'm taking it to the car. Oh, can you just come over and sing We Are Family to my friends? Like, what am I, a monkey? There is that feeling where you're like, I'm sweating. I'm trying to get out of this place. I'm at a camp. I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's not set up for a concert. There's no ramps. I'm dragging my fucking keyboard through grass and up a hill and, through a gravel parking lot thing. And this lady wants me to drop what I'm doing and come sing We Are Family to her friends like I'm a fucking seal. That's the part that gets me. And it's never the person that's paying you that does. It's just a guest at the party like, oh, you need to play this song. One girl came up and asked for a song and I was like, oh, we don't do that song. And then she made the pouty face like, oh, you're ruining my night. And I'm like, really? We played fucking Dancing Queen. What's your problem? Like what is your problem? Am I bitching too much on this show? But it's true. It gets to me. I did have a nice drive afterwards to Comfort, Texas. That's the name of the town I stayed in at the Faust Inn. I didn't stay in the same room as my friend Benjamin, but I texted him and asked him if he wanted any peanuts because I'd stopped at a drug stop and picked up some peanuts after the gig. I don't know why that's funny to me. It's just kind of silly. Drove home, beautiful morning drive through the hill country. You drive all the way through Fredericksburg. If you're not from Texas, sorry, look it up. It's really nice. I mean, it's really just beautiful drives, great vistas, watching the sun come up, listening to some music. I was listening to just radio stations. Sometimes those small town radio stations, they don't really have to follow much of a playlist. So you hear stuff you don't normally hear. Like you'll hear Rock of Ages by Def Leppard instead of Photograph. Yeah, that's basically what I mean. Because I was listening to classic rock station. It was cool, man. Nice drive. Going to see those guys play today. My friend Spencer's birthday. Shit, I need to get him a present. Damn it. The madness never ends, does it? Well, enough about me. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are holding up out there. Things are still going on. Like there's still a pandemic. There's still insanity going on. There's still political insanity. I'm not going to report the news. But man, all of it's going crazy. All the time, it feels like. Feels like it's coming at you. When you open yourself up to it, it feels like it's coming at you. And with all the other things that we've been through as a society for the last couple of years, to have all of that extra stuff thrown at you every time you sort of like try and engage is pretty tough on it's tough on me. I'm sure it's tough on other people too. And I know that there's people going through tough times right now. It's a difficult time to be a person. In this, at least in this country, that's what I know. It's tough. It's tough being a musician in this time. You're going crazy. My guest today, AC Monaro from the band Go Fever, and I have a great conversation about that. About what what it's been like since February 2020 or March 2020, for all of us. It's been scary. It's been intense. We've lost work. We don't know what we can do. But you know what AC Monaro and Go Fever did? They made a fucking great record. Velvet Fist. It drops October 8th. It was recorded at White Denim's Radio Milk Studios with a dear old friend of mine, Jim Valentine. It was recorded. It's going to be released on 9 Mile Records. I'm actually going to be talking to those dudes. The 9 Mile Records dude, I think his name is Rick, on the show. I'm excited. We're setting up the date. It's going to all happen. They've got a couple singles out from the record. Long Run and New Year's Eve 15, which is NYE 15, which is a great commentary on toxic drinking culture. You know what I mean? That circle you get into. AC and I talk about all kinds of stuff like that. Like she is such an amazing person. She's one of my favorite people in this whole scene, And it's funny because I see how somebody with that sort of personality could freak people out on a personal level. But I welcome it. I understand it. I appreciate it. And overall, I enjoy it. I enjoy being with AC. And one of the beautiful things about this is we did it in person. I know she was scared to get out of her bubble. We talk about that. They made this record in their bubble. They didn't see other people. They still haven't seen other people. They don't even have any shows set up for their release yet. As far as of today, as of this Sunday, before this comes out. They just did a show with White Denim at Mohawk. And I'm sure that was amazing. I love White Denim, man. They're great. But they're going to release a brand new single here, I think October 1st, called Amargosa. I'm going to play it. It was written with James Petrali from White Denim. So great. It's a great song. This record's like a great new wave record. They describe it as like 70s rock riffs and like saccharine pop. But to me, that combined is like really great new wave. She's a great singer. She's a great writer. The band is incredible. The band is at like their top thing. You'd think they'd been touring this whole time, the way that this record feels and sounds. But they just got together and really focused and made an amazing record. It's called Velvet Fist. Can't wait for all of you to hear it. It drops on October 8th, right? Last time, this is like AC's third or fourth time. She was on a live show, episode 800, which I'm actually releasing on From the Vault on Sunday. You're going to like that one too. Anyway, Go Fever, great, amazing band, great new album, Velvet Fist, made with my friend Jim Valentine, who I love, out on 9 Mile Records on October 8th. Okay, so get out there and get it. I love AC Monaro. I enjoy her. I enjoy hanging out with her. I enjoy talking to her, so much so that when we finished this conversation, we just hung out and talked for like, I think an hour and a half, almost 2 hours after the show, just shooting the shit, baby. It's easy to do with someone as wonderful as AC Monaro. So, without further ado, please enjoy our conversation. This is AC Monaro from Go Fever and me talking about life in person. In person. Let's get down. Just so you know that. Yeah.
Right.
My podcast is like the danger zone now.
Actually, this is probably the safest place in Austin.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be. So I don't even know where to even start. Because I've only talked to people in person, like maybe 10 or 15 people this year.
Yeah, this is pretty weird for me too.
Yeah. Because as soon as I started having people back... They were, and you're over there coughing and sneezing. No, I'm just joking.
So bad.
Allergies have also been bad. Like there is that thing. Like I spent all of last year, like pretty much every other day.
Oh, self-diagnosing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing in Australia when there was 0 COVID cases in Australia, let alone in the bumfuck town that I was in.
So how long were you there?
9 months.
Oh.
Yeah.
During COVID?
Yes. Well, actually, no, it was 11 months all up because as soon as COVID hit and the borders started shutting down, like in March, I freaked out and I just wanted to be near, like I'm like worst case scenario doomsday, right? And so I was like, my mum gets it, she's going to die because she's been smoking a pack a day since she was 11. So I have to be home with her to like nurse her as she like, goes gently into that longer night. So I immediately went home for 2 months and I lived in a tent in the backyard. It was crazy. And it was hectic. Like in my mum's backyard, and my sister had moved back as well. And so it was the 3 of us. And I mean, like, we're all very different. And so it was intense. But it was also like the 2 best months of my adult life. It was great.
I've heard that from a lot of people that got to do that. I had an experience like that. My cousin Emily flipped out when I told her you were coming over today.
What?
You know my cousin Emily?
Which
Emily Antonetti, Elford Chiz, got curly hair. Yeah, she loves you.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
She freaked out. But my grandma last year was having like a meltdown. Like she's 98. And she's like, I can't leave. The end of my life. I'm just sitting in my living room looking out the window. Yeah. It's like, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to rent a beach house. So she rented a house on the beach for a month in December and was basically like, whoever wants to live here, get tested, and move in. And me and Emily,
I love this.
me and
so
Emily were there the
much.
first day and left the last day, dude. And that was awesome. Like I lived with my grandma and my cousins and for a month.
What an opportunity.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would have never done that.
Yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
so
In normal
cool.
times.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, those are some highlights.
Yeah.
The silver linings.
Yeah.
Oh shit, hang on. Gotta do it before it comes off. Don't try. AC, when you came and did that podcast, like the last live podcast I ever had,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
weren't you super hungover at that? Oh. Were you?
That was wild. Yeah, I could barely talk. I forget what I'd done. Yes, I was.
I did a thing last night where I was like, oh, we'll just go out until 10. My girlfriend and I went, had a martini, a gin martini. Then I had these vodka drinks. Then I get home and I'm like, I'll just have a beer. Like 2 beers later. And I'm like,
You're right. Well, that was me all day yesterday after my pool day. No, I just watched the Giants-Dodgers game last night, except it went to like 11 innings. It ended at 2:30. I went to bed I watched it for on and off for 4 hours, but I just had a couple of, sophisticated tequila drinks. And that was it too. So I'm better
I'm
than
terrible at that.
Yeah. Oh, me too. But I was hungover. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, like, it's bad.
So there's a song on here about, okay, so your record, sorry, I didn't even say. You got a record, it's called Velvet Fist. I would have said it in the
Woo.
beginning already. What does that mean? Anything, Velvet Fist? Or is that a line in one of the songs?
Well, no, it's because I'm increasingly discovering that I have this reputation for kind of being this hard bitch. And I think I'm like misunderstood a lot. And part of that is my own fault because I'm Australian, I'm gregarious, I swear a lot. And I'm also like mad as a cut snake. So my moods are all over the place. And so I have this reputation as being like, people find me intimidating apparently. And then a lot of these songs are quite, like I'm the queen of the like diss track.
Yeah.
And so, but it's always from a place of like hurt, not like anger necessarily.
Yeah.
And that's just how I process like being hurt by people. So I was thinking I'm a velvet fist in an iron glove rather than the other way around.
Right,
I have
right.
this like really tough.
Yeah.
And I've been ostracizing myself from
Am I missing something?
no,
Because
it's
I always
just-
think of you as just, I love being around you.
okay, good.
Yeah. I always have.
It makes me sad. Yeah, anyway, but there's a few people, it's just come to my attention recently, and I get it. Like I can be, I don't think of myself as that at all. I think of myself as being like a massive, like, dork.
Yeah.
I guess that's not mutually exclusive. You can be like a really aggressive dork. But I'm aggressively dorky, not like dorkily aggressive. But anyway, so that's where that name came from.
Okay.
And particularly this record, it's like there's a few.
You worked with my old friend Jim Valentine.
Yes! Oh my God, I love him so much.
Me too.
Oh my God, what a champ.
Yeah.
And so I'd met him a couple of times at Radio Milk, just like hanging out, like at a White Denim show, like maybe there was 2 different White Denim backyard shows, and I just hung out inside. And he couldn't really hang much because he's like mixing it live or like recording it. But I love that guy so much, and he's so good. I mean, he's so good.
Yeah.
And I put in our bio, like, I use the adjective legendary. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, you always use that adjective. And I was like, but he's legendary.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
So funny because I worked with him 22 years ago.
Whoa.
And he was easily one of the easiest. You know how like that he wasn't. There was a guy, we were all producing with this engineer, Mike McCarthy. Didn't you guys work with him?
No, but I've met, I know, because Sweet Spirit have worked with him.
Yeah. So Mike and us were producing, and Mike was
Dream
engineering.
team.
What's that?
Dream Team.
Dream team. Dude, yeah. I run into people like I saw Britt Daniel at Central Machine Works. My girlfriend had a friend, and she was like, "Oh, I invited my friend," and it was him, and it was like, "Oh shit!" So we started talking, and we just went into this like Mike McCarthy thing. Where, like, I mean, did you get a sense of like, "Oh, hey man, you guys like," I mean, like that whole thing about him is so great.
About Mike?
Yeah.
It's so funny that you say that because I feel like whenever anyone is talking about him,
Oh, you do the thing.
you adopt the voice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like that's why I was confused. I'm sure I've hung out with him.
Man, that guitar is so uncool. Man. Just do something cool. What should I do? What should I do here? Just do something cool, man.
What a directive.
Yeah. Yeah. So Valentine was on that record,
Yes.
but he wasn't like a runner. I mean, he was engineering and doing stuff,
Right.
but he was great. And I've always been like, it just from the
You would
beginning.
be great together, actually. I see it. Like, you'd be a lot of laughs.
Dude, there was a day where I got naked for like 2 hours because everyone had gotten mad at me, and I was like, surely if I just sit here naked.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. What a great move. I'm just
Yeah.
like trying to think how that would like translate for
Would
like,
be weird.
a woman.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it?
I really enjoy mooning people.
Yeah, me
until
too.
it was pointed out to me, like that it was sexual.
Yeah.
But the thing, I have a really pimply ass, so I feel like it ameliorates the kind of like the sexual nature.
Poor Ben.
I know. It's like a daily thing. I was like, how many today? It's like, guess the jelly beans in the jar.
Jelly beans in the jar. So the record's great, man. And you
Cool.
know what I noticed on this record? Okay, first of all, there's like, you guys are like a modern new wave band.
Yeah,
You agree, right?
That's what I would like
Yeah.
us to sound like.
1978 and 9 new wave. Because you got the Amargosa is so like Pretenders' second record.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like massive Pretenders.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me
of
too.
course.
But you wrote that song with James?
Well, so we had it. It started out, I was going to be for like my country side project. It was like a really kind of like soft country kind of thing. And then I brought it to the band, and I think because I played it for the band on just me and guitar, it was like hard for them to conceptualize it as anything but.
Right.
So it never quite fit. But then we worked it up to the point it was sounding pretty cool, but it still hadn't found itself. And we were having these like just like pre-production sessions with Petrali at the Radio Milk.
So did he produce it?
No, he was going to have a bigger role, but then COVID hit, and then it was like, like we just wanted to keep the
Right.
studio pod, the
Right.
band members and Valentine, so that's
Yeah.
what it was. But anyway, James, like he's just always walking around with a guitar in his hand, and he just started. He goes dun 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 dun, and then it was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And so it was just one of those things where he probably forgot immediately. Like I emailed him after the record was done. I was like, hey man, here's the song that you like wrote the hook for. He probably didn't remember, because he's just always walking around with a guitar, like coming up with stuff.
Yeah. How diligent are you a writer? Because there's that theory of like Neil Young, I think, is the guy that said, oh yeah, my songs just come to me when I've been
Right.
sitting around working on songs for a couple of hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I have no idea why this is so. It's probably because of that, and you get the juices flowing. But I write in like 3 or 4s, and so then I won't write for months, depending on like what else I've got going on with work or whatever. And then I'm like making lots of voice memos in that time, and then I'll sit down, and then usually in a couple of days I'll write 3 or 4 songs.
Okay.
And hopefully 2 of them are good.
Yeah. That's a big average, 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I work like that, it takes like 3 sets of 4 songs to get
Right,
like, oh, that
right.
one's good. Okay.
Well, like I could have lower standards than you.
No, you don't. I listen to your music. It's really good. Maybe some people just have a thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some people are fully formed already.
I was like, probably had like, I was batting like, I was trying to think before I started Go Fever. Like I've written a lot of bad songs. Songs that I'm are laughable. It's
Yeah.
funny. And then I think I just hit my stride, and I'm around musicians, like other musicians that really inspire me, and I like, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, Josh Merry, who plays guitar, and my husband Ben, they're like, they're brutal. So I play stuff for Ben, and Ben's just like, oh, that was ordinary.
That's good though.
Yeah, it is good. But so what it means is that, like, I just don't finish. I keep working on a song until it's good. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because
Okay.
they'll just go.
But you'll stick with it. I'm an abandoner. Like once I'm finished, it's like, oh, why don't you rewrite that chorus and it'd be great. I'm like, no, I'll just write a new song.
Right. So they like.
That's my ugly kid. I can put braces and get him plastic surgery, but I still know they're going to be ugly.
Right. Oh, bless. Yeah. No, I abandoned shit. I also like have this like I have this imaginary side project that I've had for.
Is that the country band?
That's a country
Okay.
band. And now it has a name, and it actually, like, I have a set and I'm like ready to go. But often when I write stuff that they pour shit on, I'll just go, okay, like, agree to disagree, but I'm not going to make you play this song or work
Right.
on this song
Right.
and like write parts for it that you don't think is any good. So I'll
Right.
just put that over there.
How do you guys handle that songwriting thing on a logistical level? You write, it's band credited? Or
Yeah, so I just say, I like saying the songs are by Go Fever because everyone's writing parts, and
Sure.
like some songs, it's kind of gotten into a really cool groove. Like usually Ben and I will work on something and then make a demo, and Ben will play like really lame electronic drums on it and stuff like that, and put like kind of holding parts. Then we take it to the band, and then they like tear it to pieces and write better parts. I mean, not better. I mean, Ben's bass lines and like the
Right,
structure is
right,
great,
right.
and then sometimes like Josh and I will work on something, or with something, for example, like NY15 or New Z15 or however you want to say it, I don't care. It's such a basic song that like I wrote it and it's pretty much, like there's little bits and pieces that elevate it for sure.
Right.
But it's like, it's just so meat and potatoes.
right.
Yeah, so it's different for every song. But yeah, with crediting, I think everyone should,
Yeah. And I talk to bands about this. It's interesting because there's such a different dynamic in like a band that's a band. And so
Right.
everybody, in order for that band to stay
Right.
together, needs to own something.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's hard work. It's not just like, yeah, I mean, I would love for one of these songs, I mean, wouldn't everyone, to get a placement somewhere. So I feel like the guys especially, because the focus is always on me in like a lot of ways. And it's kind of not fair, but it's just how it is. And
Well, you're the person saying things to people.
Sure, yeah, sure. And
You're the only one that showed up.
right. Oh, I had to bar Ben. Remember after the first time, he dropped a doozy, and I was just like, all right, you're not coming back. So
I'm going to have him on by himself.
Sure. He'd be great by himself. But yeah, so it'd be great if like all the hard work and the amazing like parts and stuff that they write, paid off through financial gains.
Yeah. Yeah. When I had a band with Anar in the record that we worked on with Jim Ballantyne, there was a lot of writing, and I wrote with people outside the band, and we wrote stuff as a band, and I wrote stuff by myself, and then our guitar player went and wrote a song with somebody else, and we did it. And so our manager showed us this sort of, it was called a non-writer's share. So everybody, if you didn't, obviously your drum groove did something to enhance this song. And it was so that way, after our record came out, if I wanted to take a year off, those guys wouldn't have to go work at the movies or something.
Right,
Like they'd
sure.
also be rock stars.
Yeah. No,
But there's bands like you
that.
too that just are Four Ways or REM or something.
So that is our manager / label guy Rick at 9 Mile. He specifically said we were talking about different splits, and we are for the U2 model, which I think is
That's a great model.
yeah, I think so too.
It's weird though when you know what I mean. Like there were when the discussion came up, there was like the U2 model thrown at me, and I was like, those guys all sleep until fucking noon, and it's me waking up at 7 to have a song for them for when they wake up.
Totally.
Like, you got to get something for being that person.
Let's be real. The U2 model could also be called like the drummer's model because it.
Yeah. Well, you know, it is his band.
What's that?
It's his band. It's Larry's band.
Oh.
Larry's the guy that started U2. So it's Larry's band.
There you
Bono
go.
always says that. He's always like,
I haven't. Yeah, right.
It's like, it's his band. That's a cool looking guy.
I'm trying to like picture. Are you talking about Bono?
No.
I was going to say. Really?
I saw him in person, Bono.
Oh, really?
He is weird looking. I mean, he's a little, and his fingers are real fat. His legs are real short. I saw him in a meet and greet. I didn't get to meet him, but I stood like here. And like, I was just like, wow. And then like 20 minutes later, the real Bono came out on stage.
Whoa.
Not-
See, I feel like if a woman looked like that, then she might not have fronted a band that made it as big as
He looked like a really well-dressed roofer or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's working class. That's great. Yeah, I could get behind that.
He's got a working class physique.
Right,
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
From working.
Yeah. But Larry Mullen's beautiful. He's, chiseled and like has his
I can't
hair
place him.
and he's aged really well.
I'm going to have to
It's like a sexy Marlboro man or something now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Horseback.
This show is dedicated to Larry Mullen Jr. So you did this record in June of 2000. How did you go in and do, or 2020? When did I say 2000?
Because we don't like to talk about it.
Were you able to do it over a block of time, or was it kind of a staggered jam?
Because of COVID and because we were like podding and isolating, we had to knock it out straight away.
That's great.
Yeah. And so it was like a really good feel. It was the most special, incredible recording experience. I mean, my recording experience is limited compared to the rest of the band, but it was really beautiful. It was beautiful. And we were all not sure what was going to happen, but we just like knew, like, we're just proud of the songs. We just wanted to make them. And it was also just special just being around each other because we hadn't been and we didn't know when we were going to be again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really nice.
And you took this shit really intensely.
What's that?
You did the whole COVID thing.
Oh, yeah. No, we weren't. So I think during COVID, like, as you know, like with every group of friends or every family, you have to respect the person
you do.
who's worried the most.
Yeah.
And that was probably me.
Yeah.
And so, like, Stein for sure, our drummer, has been pretty lax through the whole thing. Like, he's just like, oh, we're all going to get it, who cares? He's also probably the fittest, is the wealthiest, fittest, and youngest of us all.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, dude, like,
Yeah.
your chances are better.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We had to take it seriously.
Yeah. Is Keith or Josh the guy that does the crazy sort of like Scary Monsters guitar trip? Or is it both of them?
No, I think that's Keith.
Guy's fucking brilliant. That's another thing I was going to say about this record. Not only is it like an honest to goodness, like 1979 new wave record
Makes
kind
me
of
so
thing.
happy. Yeah.
That there's also like this incredible, and it's weird because it's just because I love these two guys so much. And it's an odd comparison. You don't sound anything like Def Leppard, but the interplay between the two guitar players, there's like a madman and a controlled guy. In that Band Gaudi, that record that we did with Valentine, like when it was mixed, we wanted it to be like Hysteria, where my sort of like loosey-goosey shit was on this side, and then this guy that fucking was perfect on this other side.
That's
and
awesome.
to me, that creates this like really amazing. I guess it's like Keith and Ronnie in the Stones too. You know,
totally. And it's interesting because the two of them, like when you asked that question, which one is it? And I was like trying to think which song, but they definitely, Keith has some really weird monster. I call it Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
One of them sounds like a fucked up guitar version of Lisa Simpson's, like one of her sax solos in the opening credits of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But they kind of switch out in that role.
Okay.
It's like, and I think they feed off each other, like what weird stuff. And sometimes, like, especially Keith, Keith's like such a freak. He's such an incredible musician, and he plays everything. But he will like he'll play something kind of jokily, and then be like, and then the four of us go, sorry, dude, like that's the part.
Yeah.
He'd be like, all right, God damn it.
Tell me about 9 Mile Records. What is this your first record with them? Okay.
Yeah, we're so stoked.
What did they? I've been talking to people. I put out the Space Flight Records thing yesterday. I've been talking to these different labels, and I'd like to talk to Keith.
Keith?
No, what's the name?
Rick.
Rick. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keith is a guitar player. So
Yeah.
I'd like to meet Rick because I feel like there's like a wave of indie labels where people aren't making any money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, God
but
love
they're
'em.
these fucking like psychotic music fans that are like, oh, I can do something about this.
Or they make money off one or two artists, and then they can just, and then just share the love by putting in a bunch of other shit. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's how every label starts, kind of.
I had breakfast with a friend of mine yesterday who became the president of an incredibly funded label by like a bazillionaire. That like he'll call and be like, hey, I need 50 grand for this artist, and it's there. And like just crazy.
Wow.
It's a totally different, like their work. It's that nothing's organic in his world, and there's country people, but it's all just like
New West.
No. No, it's all like very prefab, very
Got it. Yeah.
18-year-old.
I was gonna say
Puerto Rican girl that sings in English and in Spanish. She'll take over the entire world, like that kind of shit.
When you say prefab, I immediately think like of ageism. Because, like, thank God for indie labels who are thinking outside the box like that. Because that's why, like, the band that I'm in can get signed.
Yeah, they would never sign you.
No,
they would never sign me. We're
old.
like really, like yeah.
No, Rick's great, and so it's their 15th anniversary this year, and I think, he can speak to it, but I think the first record they put out was Shiny Ribs. So Nat obviously did really well, and the Chords were already, you know more about this history than I do. And then they've got like the Greyhounds and Patrick Sweeney, and then they had like Sweet Spirit. So I think, those bands, I owe them a favor because they paid for my record.
Yeah. So the label's able, because some of these record labels, they don't have the money, but they bring in a team of people that can cover a bunch of shit that you'd have to pay for,
which is
otherwise.
still enormously helpful, obviously.
Enormously.
Yeah, we need anything we can get, right?
So that's pretty amazing. That must be a good feeling to have.
Oh, yeah.
It
was, yeah, it's incredible. I'm pinching myself. I've got to admit, though, he might listen to this, but it's like really frustrating for me to relinquish my power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
what Doug Somm, you know who Doug Somm was?
Oh, bitch, please.
Okay. So Doug used to talk about this thing called the groove tax. So like anything that's good, there's always some kind of shit you could like, and not that it's shit, but there's some kind of someone's going to pay for your record. They're going to be like, hey man,
you're going to have to take it.
Can you sing that vocal again? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
In some ways it's really good having that direction. Like for example, this was an 8-track. One of these tracks, Deep End, was actually recorded, I guess I didn't say this in the liner notes, but it was recorded in our bedrooms after we'd made the record because I wrote it. And then, because basically Rick said, I'm not paying for an 8-track vinyl record to be made. That's absurd. But we only had enough, like in the 10 days we just did these 8 songs, Right, so we made a night song and we all just recorded the parts in our bedrooms and got Valentine to mix it.
Right.
But like, so stuff like that is good. Like I needed, because, I'm not like a lazy person, but sometimes, like especially in the middle of COVID, it's like the path of least resistance looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And so he was like, said no, but then, for example, like NYE 15, that wouldn't have been my single of choice. It's not my favorite track on the record. I don't think it should have been the single. But of course, I don't get a say in that. I get a say, and then it's like put in the shredder. And it's not just Rick, like there's a whole team. There's
Yeah.
like radio and like
Yeah.
so it's just like, and I don't think it was his first choice either, but you kind of have to defer to the experts.
Yeah.
Which is like a weird, difficult thing for me. But I mean, overall, it's fucking awesome, and
It is super awesome.
Insanely great.
Yeah. I mean, there's people trying to help you figure out, because it's hard. It's hard for us to figure out what a single is, because we're
Yeah,
connected
our
to a
ideas.
song for a completely different reason
Exactly.
anyone else would be.
Exactly. Totally. And so it's the song that means the most to you, which isn't necessarily the song that everyone else is going to
Yeah.
resonate with. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those. That's always a weird thing, but. Well, it is. It's weird that people connect with the song. You're like, no, it's this other song,
I
and they're like,
know.
nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
You shouldn't have written it.
Yeah, with the Awesome Music Foundation, I work with their artist development program, and we've been making a
So
record
cool.
every year with people. And yesterday we were doing pre-production with this band, and it's just funny because they're like, "Oh, well, this is the new song because this one's great." It was the worst song of all the ones, but to them it's the best because they're excited about it because it's new. How could this song from 2 years ago be good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Totally. Exactly. Yeah.
It's such an odd thing to think like that. It makes me think about the way that I look at stuff is the same way too. Like, me and Einar and our whole band drove to Houston to see Radiohead one time in the 90s.
Good move.
Yeah. And we weren't like mad or want our money back. It was the OK Computer Tour. But like the show finished and we're like, surely they're going to come back out and play Creep. And these guys didn't. And you're like, and then you find out like they didn't play it for like 25 years or something, right?
Yeah.
Now
Every
they're playing
band has
it.
that song.
Yeah, but like
You're
they
still
were
mad
doing
about
that
it.
to me
I
and
can tell.
Einar.
Yeah.
Like they weren't. We don't care how they feel about fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like I care about how I feel about
Right.
it as a fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the petrol money and the ticket price.
Yeah. I drove to Houston to see a band and drove home that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that for the
bastards.
Pixies. Yeah,
Do
totally.
you give the people what they want?
No. Absolutely not. And I know that there's songs from our first record that are so different, like just like thematically and the whole vibe of what we're doing, and I don't feel comfortable singing them. And I know that there's people who I really care about and have really supported us, and they will come to the show and like, or they'll comment on an Instagram post and go, "I'm coming tonight, I hope you guys play this," and I'm just like, sorry. Like, you can go home and listen to the record. No.
Well, I mean,
Stone
it's
cold.
to each their own.
Yeah.
After that Radiohead experience, I play songs from my band from 1994. If people want me to. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I'll do it.
That's being the whole package. Like, that's being like a great
Oh,
musician and a great entertainer.
Oh, I thought it was like being a person that if nobody loves him, he's going to be sad.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of that. I never put those two things together though. Now that you've mentioned it.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because we don't. Do you hear your music and see yourself performing the way? Are you able to step outside of yourself and look at yourself and judge yourself with honesty and be like, would I pay $15 to go in and see that show I just played?
I like to think that I can, but mostly it's very negative.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't listen to I'll hear that our song, because KTX is flogging NY15 right now, and I just like, I can't. Or sometimes
So they're playing it like crazy?
yeah.
So someone was right.
KTX, they love that song. Anyway,
But that's good that you were able to see like, okay.
listen to me. I would have this is a dream come true.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
instead I'm complaining. I'm being a fucking whinger.
But they were right.
Yeah, well, they were right for KTX. But I mean...
But what other kind of station is going to play you? A pop station?
rock and roll is not cool anymore.
No.
Like, at all.
No.
Guitar music is not cool at
No.
all. Strong, honky, weird-sounding female vocals have never been cool. And so I think, like, a lot of college radio, like, music directors... This is not what they're looking for, and that's fine. Like, and also, like, fuck that. But...
Really?
There are other songs on the record that I think they would have happily, and we have other singles coming out, so it's all fine, but it's, we definitely have gotten less love overall from radio for this single than our like other singles in the past that I chose based on their lack of aggression. But I could just totally be talking out of my ass, like I often am.
Yeah.
But that's what and also because I'm so neurotic, I'm like, I overthink everything, and so that's what I'm thinking. Rick would say, "Whoa, hold up! It's only been out a week." Like,
It has only been out a week?
yeah. I mean, it's been getting played on the radio for a bit longer, but it's maybe 2 weeks. But
Yeah.
anyway, I just chill out.
The KUTX, like, when you get added to that, you can see an ascension, and like it really does work.
Oh my god!
Like
Every
it
time,
really do. Like,
yeah. As soon as they started playing us, we started getting more Spotify, or like I started getting DMs on Facebook and Instagram. I mean, like handfuls.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy saying like, when are you guys playing next? I just heard you on KTX. I love this, which is so nice because it's nice when it's not just numbers. And you actually see someone's face there and they tell you why they like the song or like what it meant to them or something. It's so cool.
well, that's to me. Like to really connect with an artist, like
Yeah.
really connect and become a fan, and like
Yeah.
go in, have a T-shirt, go see them when they play.
Yeah.
Maybe even drive to Houston.
That's what kind of fan I am too. So
Yeah.
it's exciting when another person
It's
has
super
that
exciting,
experience with
right?
my music. Yeah.
But I wonder in this time, I feel like COVID gave everyone a bit of a chance to connect with things in a new way.
Yeah.
Like the way I came up connecting with things.
Yes. Like a more, like there's some
Deeper connection.
mindfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
It's not just a song on a playlist. You're like listening to a whole album by
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah. And like moods. And you're like me. You're a very, like you are, like you really care about lyrics. You're like,
Yeah.
you're a writer.
Yeah.
And I have been really drawn to, I'm always really drawn to lyrics, but I feel like I'm really listening to songs and like, I'm looking for things to grab onto.
Yeah.
Like lyrically and
Yeah.
thematically, because it's, it's like, it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
I had a couple of songs during the pandemic. Dude, my dog of 14 years died during the
know.
pandemic, and I stopped listening to music because there wasn't a song that couldn't make me cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. My dog, my dog that, I had forever that I had to leave with my ex-husband, died while I was home.
Oh.
And it was really weird. It's also, that was really hard because I didn't get to be with her and I already felt distanced from her because she'd been with him and I didn't get to say goodbye. But, dogs are hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was so sorry to hear about that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear about yours. Yeah. Here's some good news just from today because both of our eyes are tearing up.
Yeah.
This is fucking my Barbara Walters moment. I got that girl to cry. My girlfriend and I are getting a new dog this evening. We're bringing her from Dallas.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'll show you pictures in a bit.
Oh, please. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
really excited.
wonderful.
She lost her dog of 14 years last year too.
Oh.
So we were both kind of like, hey, we're going to be moving in together.
Yeah.
We're like going to get a dog.
This is wonderful.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
good
so
news.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I really want, I can't get one yet, but I'm looking to that for something to look forward to. And
Yeah.
in the meantime, I can find joy in other people's new
dogs. Yeah. What were we even saying? That whole 2020 was terrible. Connecting with music during that time.
yeah.
And I couldn't because I'm so connected to music. I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the opening of Bittersweet Symphony, which is a song I listened to on the regs that, and I just you know what I mean?
It's so funny because it's like my mum used to try and teach me to watch horror movies in a detached way, and she used to say, just laugh about it, think about how they make that blood, it's absurd.
Right.
And we actually know how to deconstruct the magic, quote unquote, in a song.
Yeah.
Like we know how it's put together, but you still can't remove yourself from the mood that it's created. It's impossible.
No. And I feel in some ways that I can still hear music like I did when I was like 12?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's magic?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I've been putting together a couple of playlists lately and getting so excited. And then I just repeat the playlists over and over and I get like goosebumps. And you know, when you rediscover stuff that you used to flog and you have it not because you stop loving it, just because there's so much music to consume and sometimes you forget.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend was was put on Joan Armatrading the other day, and I just like, oh my God, that record, like, what's it called? The one with Down to Zero on it. And it's so brilliant. And I got so excited. It was like I discovered it all over again. I got goosebumps. I was like yelling to no one in my lounge room, this is so good. Yeah.
That's weird that you say that. I had, Red Young, the organ player?
No.
Piano player? He played with her during the big, like, lover, ooh, ooh. Dum.
Yeah.
Like during...
that was that record.
Right.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
That whole record, that's another
so
great
good.
song from
yeah.
that.
It's an amazing song.
And then...
Making the hair on my arms down.
Oh, she's just so amazing. And then there's that other song, and she's one of those artists that that charted way higher in Australia and New Zealand than here.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's this weird correlation between the UK, Canada, Australia... Oh, it's weird. There is a weird correlation. It's called the fucking Commonwealth, you idiot. Yeah. But I mean, musically, like Meatloaf, Susie Quattro, Joan Armatrading, everyone knows who they are here, but they were huge. And so, Joan was one of those. But there's that other song. Oh, now I've like gone on this massive rant and I can't remember the name of it. It's like, it's got all these analogies about like dropping bombs. Anyway, it was like number one in Australia for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Right.
And I rediscovered that. Anyway, and I had the same like all over full body reaction.
Yeah. If you're my age and you had MTV in the first year when they didn't have enough videos to play, so they played Joan Armatrading like regularly, like in rotation.
On MTV?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know anything about MTV.
That's how I found out about her. And then I remembered like cool people. Like people that didn't buy it's like my mom's friends that had like the Devo record when it first came
liked her as well. Yeah, she's like a musician for sure. And I mean, you think about the lineage, like, because I listened to her when I was young and I didn't really think about it from like a, higher standpoint. But when I listen to her now, I'm like, oh, they wouldn't be, I mean, well, I shouldn't say this. Tracy Chapman came out of that actually like not too long after, but like that lineage, and like Melissa Etheridge, it's funny, it's like all the like gay women who were looking for one single person that had made it in the industry who was like them.
Right.
But Melissa Etheridge, apparently when she was just like playing, like first starting out, it was basically a Joan Armatrading cover set.
Oh really?
Which I thought was really interesting.
I bet she could have passed it off in America as her own stuff too.
Yeah, so I mean, like, well, this is good shit.
Is there anything what else did you connect with did you watch Tiger King? Were you one of those?
Oh my God.
I was.
So I was in my tent at that point and I was like, so there wasn't, my mum doesn't have Wi-Fi. My mum is such a Luddite. She's hysterical. She wanted to get Wi-Fi. She thought Wi-Fi was Netflix. Like, she didn't understand that it was like a subscription service that's available on the internet, like through the internet, whatever. And so she was so excited to get Wi-Fi connection so she could watch all these movies. And I was like, you're hilarious. Like, you don't even have a laptop. Like, how, So she, anyway, so I managed to get onto the neighbour's Wi-Fi and watch that and just had a great time, because that was when my sister and my mum were bringing me out bowls of food and leaving them like halfway down the yard. Like, it was really intense because I just landed and I quarantined, but there wasn't enforced in Australia. Not like it is like the second time I went back. So I had to get on a train. I got off at Sydney Airport. Australia was still like, they hadn't fully realised what was going on yet. And I came from here and it was like complete, like just worry and fear.
Yeah.
And everything was like closing down. I got to Sydney Airport and it was like business as usual. And then I had to like get a bus and go to the train station. I was there for 3 hours until the train to my hometown left. people were coming up and talking to me, and I had 2 masks on, and I was like, get back, get back, get back.
Yeah.
Like I could have, like I was at LAX just now, you know?
Yeah.
It was really funny. And then there was this like redneck family of like 12 people on the train who were getting off in my hometown, of course. And so for the whole 3.5-hour train ride, they were making fun of me and my masks and pretending to cough over me and just being like total dickheads.
Oh, God.
And it was really difficult.
I've got some of that shit in my family.
Yeah.
I have an ex-stepmom that video chatted me because she was with my nephew, and I was just leaving the grocery store and I had a mask on.
She made fun of you?
She said, "Take that stupid mask off." And I was like, no, I'm in a public place.
Also, freedom. Don't tell me what to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, where are you at with this whole Greg Abbott legislation? What do you think about The Handmaid's Tale? The Texas, the season in Texas.
It's funny because I actually couldn't watch that show because
I couldn't either.
Upset me. Like just the constant rape. I was just like, oh my God, this is fucked up.
I couldn't either.
Yeah.
I can't like that stuff, and it's not because I'm this enlightened dude. It just it's always upset me since I was a kid. Somebody doing something to a kid, someone doing something to an animal, any of that shit, like I just can't do because that person can't help themselves.
It's not entertaining to me, put it that way.
Yeah, thank you.
So I watched a few episodes and then was just done with it because it was like, I found myself like building up to this moment where I had to watch the next episode because it was supposed to be this great show and like, and it was just like all day it was like this like weird traumatic thing in my chest, like tonight I'm gonna have to watch this woman get raped on television again for my entertainment to make a point. And I'm not arguing, I'm not trying to make a bigger statement, I'm saying me personally,
that's how I feel too,
and other people apparently messed up. I'm just like it's just so disappointing. It's also just, it's not surprising. The thing about abortion is everyone has had an abortion. Like, I feel like if I get in a room with women, it's the same thing. Or if I get in it's like, if I get in the room, it's like the same as sexual assault. Like, everyone just starts talking about it. It's happened to everyone. And you're like, oh, shit. It's the same with abortion. Everyone I know's had an abortion or dealt with abortion or been the partner of someone who had to have an abortion. It's such a common thing that it surprises me that this like small, very powerful group of people can actually sell this to a portion of the public when it's, I mean, there's plenty of religious people who have had abortions, like
Just the anti-mask stepmom. Total Trumper, anti-abortioner, whoever's like Ronald Reagan, whoever like, loves him.
Right.
Has a photo where she met the Pope. Right, and she's her and my dad with the Pope, like just giving them a blessing. It's this photo in her living room. It's what she stands for. My sister's single a couple years ago. My sister's single a couple years ago. She gets pregnant. My stepmom's like, "Who's the dad?" She's like, "Look, it's a scene. This guy's in another situation."
Right.
And they were separated, and now he's going back to his lady, and now like I'm flying solo. First suggestion. First thing out of her mouth.
Yeah. So this.
That's what drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah. Then that's what I'm talking about. It's this like, there's just like public, righteous, pious thing, and then there's actually what's going on in your home and in your community. People just like, and I'm sure that your stepmom would say, like, well, that's different,
Oh, of course, she
because
could
it's my
justify it.
Family. She's not promiscuous. It was just the bet, and it's like there's this idea that all women who get abortions are fucking sluts. I mean, so what if they are? Yeah. But they're a certain type of person, like a sloppy person, can't take care of themselves, whatever else, and it's so stupid, and that's why I think like I don't know. I when high profile people come out and say that they've had a termination at some point, I always can get behind that because I think it's good to destigmatize it because everyone has had one or dealt with it, and it sucks. Yeah.
The Gestapo thing though about turn in whoever
Oh, that's a whole other thing. And that really is just opening the door to some really fucked up shit.
But it's a state, like those same people fight for people to have AR-15s.
Yeah.
It's also like they're going against masks. It's like, what do you, like...
What do you even stand
yeah,
for?
none of this, I don't understand any of this.
Yeah.
Or why.
It's just such a... So, it's like... Yeah. Everyone has their own reasoning, and I think that's why it's so hard to like combat it. It's like the anti-vaccination thing. I have good friends who and like I have good friends who don't want to get vaccinated, and I'm terrified for them, and I'm angry at them and disappointed. But what's been interesting is as it goes on, I've become less angry and disappointed because I see that they are genuinely scared.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I can, so it's weird. I'm having this like compassion for these people, like and it's really difficult.
I have a friend that's slightly ridiculous, and I felt our friendship like fading. And when we did those 310 shows, it was the same weekend that James Isbell was like, "Hey, you gotta have a match."
Right.
But we didn't. It wasn't a 310 or ACL. The next week they put it in place.
Right.
But it was like up to us, and it was so late that on 2 days before the first gig, we put out a post that was like, "Hey, you know, we're not requiring anything, but like if you're not vaccinated, like please don't come."
Right.
And so that friend of mine saw that post, and she said, "I have tickets. Is that from the club?" And I was like, "No, it was from us. We're playing that night." And she's standing right in front of me, like, I was like, "You fucking asshole."
It's so disrespectful. Yeah. It's really disrespectful. So we are going to make a statement about that. And I am so nervous about, I'm going to disable comments and also because it's not coming.
I should have done that.
Oh yeah, you've got to do that because you also just get trolls. It's like when Isabel made that
people
statement.
that don't even like your page or something.
It's so funny. Yeah. Like when Isabel made that, and then ACL put that on their Facebook page. I like started reading the comments, and there were people going, "Well, I'm gonna rip my tickets up then." And you click on the profile, and it's like an 85-year-old man from another state, and it's
He's
like,
not,
big Jason Isbell fan, are you? You know, have you listened to any of his shit ever? Because he's just making fun of people like you the whole time.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I had to send it to the band because even though, like, I post all the stuff, it's like a statement from the Royal We.
I did that, yeah.
So I was like, "You guys okay with this?" And it was really good. They were like, absolutely. They, like, made suggestions, like, about how to make it. And then, you know, and the other thing is, it's like, I just wanted to be really respectful. I don't want to call people that don't want to get anti-vaccination, don't want to get vaccinated. Right. Like, I don't want to call them stupid. I don't want to call them what I want them to do is go and get vaccinated.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure it was like respectful, but very clear. But it's hard because it's not coming from the other bands or the venue. It's just coming from us. And the other bands might agree. I don't know. I haven't spoken to them about it, but I actually don't even want to start that dialogue because it's just us saying, we hope that if you're not vaccinated, don't come to our show because we don't want you to die. Like, that's basic. I've
seen some people post that stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a weird time, and it's just like
it is such a weird.
It's
time.
so weird, and it's like it's just been weird because people just don't care about other people. And that's been, like the whole, racism has been around forever. Sexism has been around forever. Bigotry has been around forever. But the Trump administration, how many people voted for him in the last election? And then with like COVID and people just like not caring about the welfare of other people around them. And it's like, it sucks. It's hard going out and being like, wow, a lot of these people suck and they just don't give a fuck. They just care about themselves and their own family, and it's got nothing to do with God. And they can say that as much as they want, but it's not Christian. Like, it's not
patriotic.
It's not patriotic. It's just pure individualism, and it's fucking scary. It's really scary, and it's like dog eat dog.
Yeah.
And there's just like, there's a lack of like love in a real deep,
Right.
big sense.
Right. That's something that I feel was really lost, because even somebody like George W. Bush, he has some kind of, or at least says he has a philosophical foundation, and Obama was whatever you think he was, but he had a philosophical foundation, like a base, something that he came from. And then there was this guy that had no, like, a vacant vessel of just like consumption, and this is mine, and just like, it's okay, be an asshole. And he just like really like gave that green light, like, you're an asshole, they've been treating you bad because you're an asshole, but you're really the best.
So that's what it was. It was like a validation and then like an invitation just to be open with it. And like, I think every president in the history of the United States has been a fuckwit. And I would say the same about like any leader. You kind of have to be to get there. Because if you really care, then you're like an organizer. But for sure, in the grand scheme of things, like he totally just made it okay, you know? And I know people personally that I feel like wanted to be that. They wanted to openly identify as a fuckwit and suppressed it and pretended that they were this, that, and the other.
Right.
And then when Trump came along, it was like, oh, and they really they blossomed.
They did. And the funny thing is, they even found like a thing that makes the uniform for them so they can find each other, is this bright red hat.
I know.
And you're like,
I know.
Bro, you too?
Yeah,
Fuck 'em.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have a red cap, and I sewed a patch onto it years ago that says "Dead men can't catcall," and it's like a flick knife with blood on it. But from a distance, it's like red with like this white writing on it, and now it's like yeah.
So the record comes out on my dad's birthday, October 8th, 2021.
Nice. Libra.
Mm-hmm. I too am a Libra.
Record.
Are you a Libra?
No, I'm a
Scorpio?
Moody Cancerian.
Yeah. I can't tell the difference between those. I don't know if I just don't get astrology or it goes over my head.
See, I believe in astrology, and I don't even know why, but I don't know. I don't believe in astrology. I believe there's something to it just based on my own observations over a lifetime.
Right.
And I can pick other cancers.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy. And they're not even necessarily people I like. I'm ashamed, but I can see there's like parts of me that I'm not ashamed of, and I see it in them too. And I'm just like, you a Cancer? And I feel like there's people very close to me whose characteristics I'm like very intimate with, like my immediate family members. I will ask people what their birthday is, because I'm like, I feel like you're very much like my brother or my father or whatever.
Right. And it works out?
Yeah. Oh my God. There's a thing called the birthday book. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So this is like, I'm making a complete fool of myself. I'm like, go and get vaccinated because of science. Have you heard of the birthday book? It tells you what kind of person you are based on your birthday. I mean, fucking whatever. So it's got every day of the year, and it talks you through whatever. And mine is like eerily accurate, but then Ben's is like way off. But then my brother's is so accurate that it was like I had written it to scare him, and I paid a lot of money to get it published into this hardcover book with all these other birthdays in it.
Yeah.
It said like, you're an alcoholic, you're a drug addict, you need to stop smoking so much. Like, this is what, like, whole family history. It was so, I almost thought that we would close the book and open it, and then it would be completely different and really chirpy. And it was just like that, you know? It was spooky. Hank was like, well, fuck.
That's your brother?
Yeah. And then he had to get really drunk because it was so depressing. I think he literally just went in for a beeline to the pub at that moment. Anyway, yes, the album's out October 8th.
October 8th.
Yeah.
And when did the singles, are there any more singles coming out?
Yeah, there's a single coming out September 17 and another single October 1st.
What's 17?
Long Run.
Mm-hmm.
And then October 1st is Amagosa.
Okay. I'll put this out around then.
Yes.
Because you guys don't want me to put it out without it being out, right?
No, I don't.
I'm not allowed to just go around premiering things. You have a label. I don't want to get 9 Mile Records shaking me down.
No, it's fine. Well, we've already had, like, we made Amagosa listenable on Bandcamp for one day, last Bandcamp Friday.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
fine.
So that comes out October 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the best for the listener. They're like, what is he doing? He's just writing stuff down because he's hungover and he doesn't. You know, I quit smoking cigarettes during the COVID. As soon as I'm sucking on like 2 different things.
It's all-
and I got one charging over there.
Yes.
But yeah, I haven't smoked in over 2 weeks.
Wow. Oh shit. It's a good go. You're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I am. This is the first time that I quit. I mean, I've smoked since I was for fucking like 36 years.
Wow. Wow.
That's
You start
weird,
smoking
right?
when you were 2?
No, I started smoking when I was like 16,
Damn.
15 or 16.
Yeah, I'm so lucky. I have a really addictive personality, and I've been through stages where I love just like chuffing darts down. I like rolling my own,
Yeah.
but I can stop. Not like with alcohol and drugs,
right.
and other drugs, sorry, because nicotine's totally. But my mum has been smoking since she's 11, and she stopped smoking 3 weeks ago. Which is, I mean, she's never ever done anything like this before, and I mean, she's like, the damage is done, but it's never too late.
It's never too late.
To she's gonna, once she gets through the moodiness and the like constant eating of candy, and she's gonna be great. And she hasn't had a drink in 3 weeks either, because of course one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
How are you? Like,
Good.
yeah, I mean, you got trashed last night.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did have the night before last. I had a smoking dream, like a real smoking dream, and like where I felt guilty while it was happening. I put it out, and I felt really bad about myself.
Wow,
and
it's like a Catholic.
It was, yeah, totally. Come on, man. It was awful. And yeah, it was very intense, very real, and very, the level of shame that I was like, I quit. I totally quit. It was so weird.
Yeah, that's wild.
The mind is crazy. Addiction is crazy. But I'm feeling good about it.
That's fantastic. 2 weeks is incredible. That's amazing.
I've been smoking mountains of weed, dude.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm trying not to eat. That's the tough part, because like you don't want to expand after not smoking, because that's know that can happen. I did eat a box of popsicles in one day. I ate 12 popsicles in one day. It was hot, and I needed something in my mouth.
And you're smoking heaps of weed. I'm like, I get high, and I'm just like, I'm like a chip fiend.
Oh yeah.
But then I eat chips and I'm high and my mouth is dry already, and then it's like I can't talk, and I'm like, and then I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, chips and weed.
So the band is doing strong. Everyone's feeling good about being a band.
Yeah. We are. It's just really weird. Like, so we've had a few rehearsals, but even that's kind of a bit, like we're a few of us have been getting tested regularly because I'm just at home. Like,
are you going to CVS all the time? Or they are?
No, I go to, there's one at the, they might be, I don't know. Josh and I go to the one that's up the end of South Lamar.
Okay.
South Lamar.
Okay.
What's the CVS? Do you get the home testing ones?
No, you can go to CVS and they'll give you the test for free.
Okay, right. Yeah, this place is free. It's kind of cool, but you like get out of your car and you have to wait in line in the car park, and it's like fucking hard.
Oh.
And it's kind of fun and social. Like last time I was there, like our friends were there. It was like, hi,
cool.
and we're
Yeah.
like standing apart, we all get the swab, and you do it yourself.
Yeah,
which I really like.
yeah.
Is CVS way up there or just a little one?
It's
Shall
the
I?
1 inch, just the soft one,
God, thank God
That
that
way up
happened.
one from last year
I
sucked.
feel like they never had to do that to us, and it was just some kind of weird. Now I'm getting into COVID conspiracies.
No. Some kind of thing they're trying to make us do.
Yeah.
Don't put any more conspiracies out there.
That's how they got the chip up there. They had to go right up. See, all these fucking idiots think that the vaccine has a chip in it. It was actually on the tip of the swab.
Yeah. Genius. Did you see the thing that was going around where there was a person that had found the schematic for the chip?
No.
And they posted it on a QAnon or something website, and some guitar pedal fixer, super into reading all that shit, was into it. It's like, I've seen this schematic before. And he went and pulled out the schematic for the Boss heavy metal pedal.
No way.
And that's what the QAnon
No
was saying.
way.
Like they
Oh
took
my
that, they're like, this
God.
is schematic for the thing. It's like, no, this is schematic for the boss
That
heavy
is
metal pedal.
so good.
Yeah, yeah.
Of all the pedals as well. It's the heavy
Yeah.
metal pedal.
That almost seems like that's what that person, like, no one will see this.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
pedal came out in 1986.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm sure that they came up with... It's like when Trump got in and then all of a sudden, like, a bunch of them thought that Biden was Q. I'm sure they quickly came up with an alternative narrative that fit in with the boss pedal.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Who owns Boss? Is it a major Democrat donor?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
God.
It's George Soros.
Yeah, totally.
AC, I always love talking to you.
It's great.
And it's great to see you in person. Thank you for coming over.
Yay, thanks
getting
so much
warm
for
in here,
having
isn't
me.
it?
It's like, I'm not gonna lie, I have like my ass crack is a fucking waterfall right now. That's great.
That's the quote that I'm going to pull from
Yeah.
for the whole thing. It's
I
just
hope
going to
you
be,
do.
my ass crack is a waterfall.
A fucking waterfall.
But people should get out there and check it out. NYE 15 is out now. You can hear it also on would you? I didn't write down your website. GoFever.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just updated it.
Oh, good. To reflect the thing. Also, introduce me to Rick.
Oh,
I'd love to
yeah,
have
I
him
will
on and talk to
definitely
him
do
because
that.
I love what people are doing. It feels good.
He's great. He's like really positive. He's great for a chat too. Like
Good.
I would listen. Yeah. Like I listen to him talk. He's like normally most people I talk to all the time. I wouldn't want to listen to an interview.
Right.
But I will.
Me too. Thanks for and also great job on the album.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys really like you're a great band, and I think that I hope the best.
The listeners can't see this, but Johnny looks like he totally means it, and it's awesome.
I do. No, I do mean it.
Thank you
I
so
do.
much.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, darling.
Thanks for coming over.
Okay, thanks.
Party at the Opera House tonight. Death Valley Junction. Yes, it's a
AC Monaro from the band Go Fever. That song is Amargosa, drops October 1st, written with James Petrali from White Denim. Their album Velvet Fist drops October 8th on 9 Mile Records. Get out there, check it out, man. Fucking great. Fucking great. You can check out their other singles, Long Run and NYE 15, New Year's Eve 15. Great conversation. You can find them at gofeverband.com. I love AC Monaro. I really want to thank her for breaking out of her bubble and spending that time with me. It meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to hang out afterwards and shoot the shit. So, AC, if you're listening this far, I love you. I do. I love the band, too. I missed Ben, but that's all right, man. Still got my time with AC. One of my favorite musical entities. Hey, gang, don't forget when you're out there checking out the new singles from Go Fever on Spotify. You can check them out on Spotify. NYE 15, Long Run. You can also subscribe to this podcast on Spotify and listen to it there, along with thousands of other podcasts. So go to Spotify, follow us, like us, share us. If you enjoyed the show, if you're a Go Fever fan and you enjoyed this conversation, share it. Share it with everyone you know. Like our Facebook page. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, TuneIn, anywhere you find podcasts, new podcasts. We're doing like 3 a week right now, From the Vault and 2 regular news shows. What I call regular shows, reggies. All right? Let's enjoy the rest of this song, Amargosa, from the great Go Fever. The great Go Fever. Have a great week, whatever it is you're doing. Let's get down.
beautiful Marta, red lips in the ever after. You are true, swathed in chewing light. The fortune teller will get in the tire cellar. Are all coming to the grand soiree. Amargosa, where the ghosts are, party at the opera.